Alright, so inside the responsive web design, there are about 5 projects for certification, for you to earn certification under this for this course. So the very first one is the survey form, and that is what we are starting with today. So this is the survey form, and you will you're going to read the instructions and follow whatever they have told you to do here, right? But said the objective is build an app that is functionally similar to this. So let's check what it's similar to. Let's check its similarity. So this is the kind of form that we want to create. Can you see that? Right. So now let's go back to this survey form. So one thing about FreeCodeCamp is that it has an inbuilt code editor and browser. So you'll be writing your code here and you'll be seeing the result here immediately. So that makes it very easy for beginners to navigate through. Alright, so the number 1 says you should have a paid title in an H1. But before we go to this, I want to be that we are all familiar with the HTML syntax. So that's the very first thing you're going to put in place, the HTML syntax, and that is just this. Also note that you'll be typing everything yourself if you are using the full the code editor inside FreeCodeCamp. There is nothing like it to generate the closing tag for you or something. No, there is nothing like that. So the first thing is the doc type declaration. So, and this is how we usually do that. After this, we are going to alright, so we declare the HTML element with its attribute language to be English. So and then so having done this, the next thing we want to declare is the head element. So we have the head element. And inside the head element, we're going to be having title, survey form, right? So after the title, so let's declare the meta before the title. So hit the meta, then let's go and declare our link now. So this is going to be having two attributes relative, so that is going to be a style sheet. Style sheet is href. Okay, so having done this, we can now start. So inside, after the head, then we're going to be declaring body, where we'll be so inside our body now we can start following all these instructions. Number 1 says you should have a paid title in an H1 element with an ID of title. So that's what declare our H1 element. So and we can give it okay, so we should give it an ID of title. So after the H1, then we should give it this short explanation in a P element with an ID of description. So P ID of description. So this is a survey form to all of something like that. This is away from all of our customers. Then after this P, they say you should have a form element with an ID of survey form. Okay, so we want to declare a form element now. So as you can see, everything you are typing, you are seeing the outcome here immediately. Alright, so let's declare a form. It is necessary to have a kind of label. Let's see the sample again. So as you can see, this is the label, so let's declare that with a name. And then we can have ID of, let's say, name label. Can you see? Then after that, we're going to be declaring our input. Text, right? The ID should be name. Now it should have a placeholder. What is written inside the placeholder? Like enter your name. Okay? So placeholder is enter your name. It's required. So that's the last one. Alright. So having done this, they said that we should do the same thing for an email alternative. Inside the form element, you are required to enter an email in an input field that adds an ID of email. If you enter an email that is not formatted correctly, you will see an HTML5 validation. Alright, so instead of just repeating the same thing, we can just try to copy and paste this. We just need to change this name to email. So where we are having name, we're changing all of them to email. Okay, so we have done that. I just need to let this be in uppercase. The E should be in capital letter. So the next thing we want to do now, let's go to number 7. Is inside the form you can enter a number in an input field that has an ID of a number. Alright, so this means it said you can, that means it is not required. But so we can just paste again, then edit this to be, let's say, number. So number label, so this, okay, I need to change to 8, and then I can let it know that it's optional, so it's not compulsory for them to put there. Alright, so let's show what is the next thing to be done. Say if you enter numbers outside the range of the number, an HTML validation error. So that is why we have declared the type. Oh, so the type to be number. So we need to declare the type to be number so that it won't accept any other thing. To be number. Then if you enter numbers outside the range of the number inputs, which are defined by the minimum and maximum. Okay, so we need to declare it, and since this is optional, we are going to be removing this required. Then we can put minimum. Let's say we want it to be minimum of 18 and maximum 65. So you see, so it's not going below 18, the age of 18, and but it can go up. Can you see that? So alright, so let's see what is the next instruction. So for the name, email and number input fields, you can see responding label elements in the form that describe the purpose of each field with the following IDs. Okay, I've done that: name label, email label, and number label. Alright, for the name, email, and number input field, you can see placeholder text that give it. So we have done all of this. So inside the form element, you should have a select drop down element with an ID of drop down and at least 2 options to choose from. So let's see what they have for the select elements. Like this, there's which options describe your role. Alright, so we can actually use this time. There's going to be a label before we actually do the. Just say let's declare a label. Just say, when did you start by patronizing us? Put this there. So we can just give them the option of, so select. Oh, the ID of what? So I should give it an ID of drop down. So ID. So inside the select, now we are going to be putting all the options. And we're going to be putting a lot of options there. But if we look at what we have here, you realize that it says select current rows. So that is telling you that this select current role is part of the options here if you want something like this to be showing. So in our own case, we can just put select duration. So, and then to let it be what will be showing right there, you can just say selected. So that way nobody will be able to select it again. So having all this select duration, then we are going to be repeating these options. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say 5 options. So, and then this selected everything. Let me remove it. So we need to edit all these options too. Different answers we want to put there. The question we ask is, when did you start patronizing us? So we can just say a year ago. So you can say 2 years ago, something like that. Years ago. Ago. Then I'll change this 3 to 4, then this to 5. Okay, so we have all these options now. And the next thing they said we should do is, inside the form element, you can select an option from a group of at least 2 radio buttons that are grouped. So we want to declare a radio button now. So we need an input, but before we do that, let's declare another label. say are you a registered customer? ID of radio label. So let's say radio label. So having done this, then we're going to be having an input. Are you registered customer? We can just give it ID of yes, type, that is radio, name, yes. We're going to be putting another label there to indicate that is for yes. Okay. Then we do the same for no. Just copying and pasting. Then we change all the yes to no. So yes to no. Okay. We have yes or no, so we need to group them with the same thing so that it can only choose just one. So if they don't have the same name, you'll be able to choose both, but in this case, once you choose one, the other one cannot be chosen, so you can only choose one out of the two. Okay, so having done that, let's move to the next thing, which is inside the form element. Inside the form element, you should have a select. Okay, I've done this. Inside the form element, you can select several fields from a series of check boxes, each of which must have a value attribute. And to link our label and input together, so we can just put for there. So no, is this for no? No, yes for this. Why this is for no? Okay, so having done this, the next thing we need to do is, let's say inside the form element you can select several fields from it. So we are going to be creating check boxes now. So to do that, we first need to have our label and put, let's say, some questions there. So we can just say, what is your favorite product so far? So now we are going to be using this input with type of checkbox. So what is your favorite product so far? Then we can just select a type. Checkbox. Let's say MacBook. Then value. MacBook. Then we need to put its label there as well. So we are going to be repeating this for about, let's say, 30 products like that. Let's change the names. This MacBook and input and label for this. Then this should even be lowercase. Let's say Lenovo ThinkPad. So now that we have done with our checkboxes, so let's move to the next one, which says inside the form area, inside the form element, you are presented with a text area for additional comments. So this one too will be declaring label for it. Any other information for us? Any other information for us? Okay, so having done this, then we're going to be declaring a text area. Okay, so we can just remove this right it in the box below. Let's do that as a placeholder. Hold it. Okay, so now we have all of this here. It seems we're done now. Okay, it means the last one says inside the form element you are presented with a button with ID of submit to submit all the inputs. Okay, so now we are going to be declaring a button element. So here we give it a type of submit so that you can submit it. ID of submit to. Then we put submit here. Okay, fine. We have all of this here right now. Let's try to save our code. How do we run the test? Let's try it. So let's check here to run the test. Okay, so it seems, let's check, that's marked most of it for. Let's go. Yes, that means we have fulfilled all the requirements. So since we have fulfilled all the requirements, I think we are done with the project. But because we have to style it to make it more beautiful, and that is what we're going to be doing next now. First thing first that I would like to do is to give it a generic styling by using star. this way I'm going to be having a margin equal to 0. Then padding equal to 0. Padding to be 0 as well. So now we are going to be styling the body. I'll be giving it background color of dark blue. Let me check. It seems we have not connected our, okay, the CSS file name they use is styles.css, and it seems we used style instead of styles. Yeah, so let's just put the S here. So our background color dark blue, you see there's no iPhone there. Okay, that's fine now. So I'm going to be giving it text align center. Color. Let's say very close to white, so okay, that's fine. Then I'll be giving it padding. Then we want to style our, I think I like the header. So let me just remove one of the content here. Where is our H1? Okay, let me remove this customer first. Yeah, it's better this way. So let's just style our description. So description, font size 18 pixel, and then font style italic. So now let's style our survey form. Give it a padding. I should first, okay, or padding of let's say 10 pixel. Then margin top. Let's say 10 pixel as well. Let me give it a background color. A bit darker than this. Let me use that dark blue to get what I want. So it's not going to show now that I've declared the color for it, but I'll come here now. So let me just get a very dark color of it. Yeah, I think that is perfect with what I want. Okay, I've been done this. Text align, left, font size. So you will realize that it's faster typing on it's faster typing on our normal code editor, which is Visual Studio Code, because a lot of suggestions usually come with that one. So for that reason, I just pick like 5 pixels. Okay, let's go to other things. Let's do something with the label. So let's say all labels now. Block. Let's give it some margin like 10 pixel. Let's touch our input as well. Let's give it a width of, let's say, 90% or 80%. Let's say 90%. I think that's fine. Then height. 30 pixel is fine. Let's try to see how to make the form to be center and not actually following the whole body to wherever it's going to. As you can see, it's getting wider and wider, but when we look at this, we realize that it occupies some portions of the whole body. It's not expanding as the body is expanding, so we can do that as well. My survey form, let me increase the padding. Okay, our input, we're going to give it a border radius as well. That radius, let's say 5 pixels as well. And then, so to be able to style it the way we want, we can put all this our form inside another div. So we can put our form inside another div, and that is what I'm going to be doing now. So we're going to call that one form container. So where is our form starting from? From here. So I'll just say div. Then I'm going to make this ID of form container. So it doesn't matter, we can do more than what they want us to do, but the basic things we should make sure we do them. So then I'll be closing this div after my form here. Okay, so having done this, then I will start my form container now. I'll just come here and say form container. And say display. Flex, yeah. Then I can see justify content. So then I will say center. So this has solved the problem. So this way now, as you can see, so it is at the center, and then it's looking more beautiful now. I think the main thing we need to correct now is our radio button size, the input of radio button. So let's first talk about, okay, first thing is not all our label will be blocked, so let's declare those ones that are not going to be in block form, starting from even our this thing, what is it called, what's the option, let's give it what we give these inputs option. can actually copy all of this and put it here. So it is the select that I'm supposed to start, not option. So that will correct that. Okay, for the input of ID of yes, so let's reduce the input, the width, so we're not going to be giving it this 90% of the thing. So let's say I'm giving it like, let's see what 10 pixel will look like. Okay, that's too small, so let's check 15. I think 15 pixel is fine. And then we do the same thing for no. And we change this to no. So we do the same thing for all this MacBook and all of that. Or instead we can just say we can put all these ones inside another container, all the inputs, all these inputs from here. Let me see. After the select, so all these ones you can put them inside another container. So we can just say let's say smaller inputs, so smaller inputs, then let me go and declare the input after all this. Okay, so we have closed it inside one input like that. So instead of doing all this, we can just say the input inside smaller inputs. The input inside it. Can you see that? So that corrects everything at once. Then there will be no need of this. So this is going to save us some line of code. So as well, we can say, we can declare that the label inside this should also not be blocked. So we will just say smaller input, so smaller input, oh, label, smaller input label, so that means the labels inside smaller input should have a display of inline. Okay, not all. Don't want all of them to be inline. Okay, let's say. So it corrects some things, but actually gave us another issue on other ones, right? Okay, and then let me give them class names. yes, no, MacBook, and all of that. Let me give them the same class name. That will solve our problem. Starting from our yes label. Yeah, so where's the yes label? This one. So I'm going to be giving it a class name. Let me say class name of small. That should solve the problem. Control C. But before we do that, let's quickly come and do that here. So can you see that which is going to solve the problem? So let's just repeat the same for all of them. Once I put it, the no also go back to its space, and then I'll also come down to this label MacBook. So that will be solved as well. I will come back to the label of HP. That will solve that as well. So having done this, we can still make all this come down even by just putting BR. Let me just put break after each label. Come to the MacBook label as well. So now we have this looking almost exactly as what we have there. The next thing we can just style now is our text area. The normal width 90%. Then the height, border radius as well, 5 pixel. Let's give it 100. Submit button. Submit button that the name is okay, just submit. The ID is just submit, and the color white, or the same color that I used up there, which is FC. Then we're going to be giving it a width of 90%. Then margin top 15 pixel. Padding, I want the top to be like 5 pixel, 5 pixel again, but it's not so. Okay, semicolon here, 15 pixel, then 0. So I'll just remove this top. So that means I'm giving both the top and bottom 15 pixel now, so that it can have some space. Font size 18 pixel. I think it's fine. So this is what our font is going to look like. Alright, so we have come to the end of this project now. So let me come here to save what we have done so far. Right, and that is that on what we have to do here. Alright, now that our form is ready, so you need to see, we just run a test now to see if it has marked everything for us. but it seemed we overlooked it the other time that this place was not marked. So it says your email should have a type of email, so we forgot to actually change the type of email, then leaving it with text. So, and that is what we're gonna change now. So this is it here. We change it to email. Then we come back here to save and resubmit. So let's run the test again, and wow, can you see, completed 1 of 5 certification projects. So alhamdulillah, we just completed 1 out of the 5 certification projects. And the next thing is submit and go to the next challenge. So when you come here now, it's that this has been checked for us, it has been ticked, meaning that we are done with this. All right, we shall continue in the next video. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed to my channel. I love you. Assalamu alaikum.